They're often called the greatest generation. We're talking about World War II veterans.
Memories of the World War II are disappearing each and every day because the men and women who fought in that war are now in their 90s or older. In tonight's Eye on Kettleland, we sit down with one of them who has a remarkable story to tell because he witnessed a historical moment of the war. Preserving the stories of the men and women who served in World War II is more important now than ever before.
We were fighting two wars, one in Europe and one in the South Pacific.
Doug Starr is now 99 years old and served 2 years in the South Pacific on a destroyer called the Nicholas. Starr says everything from the kitchen to the bathrooms to the bunk beds, the living quarters were tight. Starr has written down his memoirs in this book titled Sea Stories Worth Reading. That's him on the cover when he first joined the Navy at age 17. Starr was involved in numerous battles in his 21 months aboard the Nicholas, taking over islands in the South Pacific that were controlled by the Japanese. During the war, they all fought a different kind of battle at times too, a mind battle. They all knew about Tokyo Rose. It was a nickname given to a group of English-speaking female broadcasters who worked for the Japanese military during World War II. The broadcasts were part of a psychological warfare campaign to demoralize American soldiers and their families.
At the end of August, Tokyo Rose was on the radio, and she told everybody who could hear her stuff that Japan had sunk the lead destroyer in the fleet, which was us, and she named it and said no survivors. Well, we didn't know that because there was no way we could hear her on the radio.
But his family back home did, and they were devastated by the news because at the time they knew their son wouldn't be coming home. It was something his mom was anticipating.
And for September and October, she was waiting for two Navy officers to show up and tell her, but they never did show up because it wasn't so.
Starr's destroyer had not been hit as proclaimed by Tokyo Rose, so the war waged on, but it was about to come to an end after the atomic bombs dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Japanese had had enough. Thinking back, Starr says Japan made a big mistake getting the U.S. involved when they attacked Pearl Harbor.
Japan is kind of like Rhode Island attacking Texas. And because they attacked the United States, good Lord, that was the stupidest thing they ever did.
Then at 9:04 in the morning on September 2nd, 1945, aboard the Missouri, before representatives of 9 allied nations and sailors, the Japanese signed the official instrument of surrender, prepared by the War Department and approved by President Truman. It formally brought an end to the bloodiest conflict in human history, and Starr witnessed it all. It was a moment in history he'll never forget. He remembers his fellow Navy sailors talking about the table that they brought up from the mess hall to do the official signing that brought the war to an end.
It was over. They finished signing, so they took the table back down to the mess hall. They would say, "Where's the table? That's a piece of history. We got to keep it. Where'd you put it?" I don't know, back down the mess hall. They never did find the one they used.
In October, when he finally got back to the States after experiencing so much, including help rescue POWs after the war, Starr knew he still had one thing left to do.
And the first thing I did was go grab a telephone and call home. And my mother almost had a fit. She thought I was dead.
Far from it. And now Starr is a part of living history. Now, Starr went on to join the Naval Reserve and got activated during the Korean War. He later went on to serve in the Coast Guard Reserve. In all, he served 33 years in the United States military.